chunky little mirror. Same method again. Little bag of particles, small boilie over the top. There it is, pretty little thing. There we go.
Right, we're here with proper old school angler, Alan Taylor, old mate of mine from the 80s. We used to fish Withy together, and things have sort of developed on in the cart world. We used to use basically just boilies, wasn't it? We never used to use much,
Mate, yeah, no,
a few
not a lot
tigers.
else.
But now, you know, I just want to know what thoughts go behind presentation and how you prepare like your particle and what you know, basically how you're applying it.
Okay, mate. Well, first of all, I find that a lot of people who use particle are happy to just use EMP and maybe a tin of tuna and a little tin of sweet corn. But I find, like a lot of things, just being a little bit different, being a little bit more particular with what you use makes a lot of difference, really. This particular one, there's about 6 different ingredients in this one, all shapes, all sizes, all different hardnesses. And I start with the biggest particle, which is a mini tiger. That's about as big as it gets for me.
Brilliant.
I put 1 part mini tigers, then I put 2 parts, I don't know if you can see them because there's not so many of them in there, but I use the old maple peas, which is an old favourite. You very seldom see people use them these days. Then I put in a few tares, 3 parts tares. Then I put in 4 parts buckwheat, which is, again, you'd see very few people use again nowadays.
I haven't seen that for donkeys.
No,
buckwheat.
it's, you know, if anybody ain't seen it, it's like hemp. It's like a pyramid shape. It splits like hemp.
Kind of looks like little zebra mussels, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does actually.
Which would be a good thing, like, you know?
That's right. Yeah, and then of course, you know, the one everybody uses is the old hemp, which we know they love, and you know, you can't get away from it. They do love it, but again, it's a little bit different. You know, it gets some rooting about. There's a little bit of cracked maize in there now, and a few little grains of sweet corn. I'm not too fussy about the corn. I don't want something that blatantly hits them in the eye. If you do, you just up the visible ingredients, which is like your cracked maize, which is just little tiny bits of maize, and put an extra bit of corn in,
Well,
really.
I think the main thing is that you've actually done this yourself.
Yeah.
So the general viewer goes into a tackle shop, buys a tub.
Yeah.
And they're just fixed on what they've got to buy.
That's exactly.
So, you know, I haven't seen someone put together a spod mix. There's very few people that do it. And I think, you know, if you're going to prepare to make the effort, you'll get a much better result on something like that.
And also, to be honest with you, it's a lot cheaper, mate. Once you buy the stuff, you buy it in bulk, you buy it dry. All right, it takes you a little while to prepare it. You need to soak it and make sure you cook it properly. But you can put what you like in. I mean, I've just noticed in here, I've even put a few, like when I've been fishing with tigers over the top, I put a few tigers in, but probably a few boilies in here as well.
Yeah,
Somewhere, just a few bits of broken up boilie, really.
If I made, you know, my own spod mix and caught on it, you get 10 times the satisfaction of
course you do,
just
mate.
sticking out something. I think in today's day and age, everybody can just buy so conveniently.
Yeah. I think, and you can use what you like in it. The other thing I do with mine, I'm quite happy to use it, make it, and then use it a week later and just leave it and use it for maybe 2 weeks later. I don't mind a little bit. To me, it's just the natural sugars coming out. You get all your sticky bits out, your tigers and all the rest. And this stuff in here, the stuff that it's in, is just pucker. I mean, you get a little bit in there, it goes out. If you're spodding it out, it sinks.
Well, it stimulates them. As
Yeah,
soon as
it
they come
does.
over there, it's going to cause a
Exactly,
cloud. And
But,
yeah, I can see that being a big fish mix, that one.
And the other thing, I think people buy them because it's PVA friendly, you know, and everybody want a PVA bag these days. Well, again, this is that stuff where you can tell them about this, because this is what you put me on. This is this extra special salt, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just a different salt. I mean, you can use conventional cooking salt. the best form of salt for putting into water and keeping it more natural. The problem is, like you say, you can buy particle that's ready to go in a PVA bag, but some of the processes and the preservatives, they're hideous. They're horrible.
No.
You could smell them straight off.
Yeah.
If you've got what I call a carp nose, you could smell
That's
it.
too chemical. It doesn't smell right, does it?
It doesn't
mate?
smell
No.
right. And if that's going on your hook bait, forget it.
Yeah.
That's Himalayan rock salt. It's 3 times stronger than normal rock salt, tasting wise. But what you can do is you can add a couple of heaped teaspoons into a small amount of water. I mean, you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of particles. So yeah, just put in a couple of heaped teaspoons, and you're just going to need to keep that stirring that. And basically, what this does, it makes the water into a saline solution. But once that's sort of turned into a saline solution, it won't melt PVA. So you can then add into your water some of your mix. Put some of your mix in there.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the water from that out.
Yeah,
Because
I use my little strainer and give it a
it's a good idea.
squirt. Well, what
Good
I
idea.
do, I'll get a little tub like this and I make it up, and you can it's because it preserves it and all. I just leave it in the water for my hook bait mix,
Yeah.
and you can use it again and again and
Well-
again.
well, the
it's
thing-
like one of them that you buy, isn't it?
The thing is, Al, once you've done that and put that in there, you can actually make up the bags and actually leave them in the water.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You can leave them in the water and
Yeah.
it will not dissolve.
Yeah, never
As soon
thought
as you
that.
put it into the lake,
Yeah.
within 2 minutes, it's gone. But it's well, you can see how easy it is.
Yeah.
It's just literally adding salt to water. It's as simple as that. If you've put out a central spod mix and you want to put a rod either side of it, the bigger fish tend to feed around the edges,
Yeah,
don't they?
definitely.
So you want to put a rod either side of it, attach a little bag of particle, which you wouldn't normally be able to do if you hadn't had a sort of saline solution.
Yeah.
They've not seen that before.
No.
They've picked up a few odd bits. They might find a little patch just with your hook bait on it, and bang, you know, it's worked for me on many occasions, like a central spotted area, and fishing either side of it. You tend to catch the bigger fish because it's some, you know, a natural mineral, and the salt it'll preserve that bait anyway. So you can just keep it in there all the time. So as you can see, he's just literally just whack that straight into a fine mesh bag, and
Well, by now I'd be covered in jelly, wouldn't I?
yeah, you would be if it was if it's normal water. Yeah, that would be the end of it. So there you go, and you attach that to your hook, and you've got an absolute amazing. Well, it bags a lot of fish. You know, they're just not used to seeing a small amount of particle away from the spod mix, and they actually love the natural mineral content of the rock salt anyway.
I find that it's amazing, the old salt. They really do like it, don't they? And
Yeah.
I mean, since I've been using that stuff you put me on, I've even noticed a little difference in that, 'cause it's so strong, isn't it? And you don't need so much of it.
You don't need so much of it.
So
and
you
it's-
reckon I'm all right leaving that? I've never done
can-
that
yeah, you can
before,
put that-
but
you can
I
put your
just
bag straight
keep
in
my
there.
little pot, but you can just leave it
You
in
can
there
leave
and
it
it's
in
ready
there.
for when you want to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Oh,
you just
excellent.
leave it in
Better
there and
still then, mate.
Yeah, but that means your particle doesn't dry out.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, no, I just leave my little pot, put my lid on, and I'll chuck it back in there, the whole lot, you know, and just carry it with me when I go, really, you know.
I think if you're going to use some, you know, if you're into your fishing and you want to sort of, you know, take it up another level,
Yeah.
you know, I think looking at something like what Al's made here, you couldn't go wrong, and I think that is definitely better than a shop bought spod mix, no question. That mix there just screams carp, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think, you know, just have a go, experiment. You know, it's the joy of carp fishing. That's what makes it really enjoyable, and satisfaction of catching on your own bait is something else. So cheers for that, Al.
That's all right, mate.
Little insight
Yeah,
into your
excellent.
particles, mate.
Yeah.